All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube, I want to talk about something here this morning that's very important. The Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles has just been disinvited to the White House. You know, whenever a professional team wins a championship, they usually get invited to the White House and they do their little pomp and party and everything else, right? When I think about this for a second, and I'm going to give you nothing but facts. Now, one person on the Philadelphia Eagles football team took a knee during the time of the national anthem protest. Not one of them stayed in the locker room. Chris Long donated his whole entire salary that year to programs that would help people to understand racial inequality and et cetera, et cetera. President Trump ain't donated nothing. We got to ask ourselves a question. Is this administration and this White House becoming an object of scorn and ridicule for everybody in the United States of America? Because the truth is, it kind of makes you wonder, how did he get selected and become the president? And I did say select, I didn't say elect. If there's so much visceral hate for him. Now, the president politically grandstands and stage plays and acts like that he is so patriotic. Now, I'm a veteran. I'm a 10-year paratrooper, United States Army paratrooper veteran, okay? And it's like a stench in my nostrils for someone who's a chicken hawk to sit up there and act like you're so patriotic when you took 5 deferments from Vietnam because you're rich and you can get doctors to sign off and anything. You know, it's amazing. Him, Bill Clinton, all of them, it's just utterly amazing to me. Too chicken to fight for the country they say they love. Then come back later on and want to send people all these wars and bomb the hell out of all these other sovereign countries. It's just a double standard. It's off the chain. And that's the reason why he literally is not getting any respect. So, I mean, could it be that he invited the Philadelphia Eagles to the White House and maybe 10 Philadelphia Eagles show up and he didn't want to deal with the ridicule and the scorn? Because, I mean, he is a very proud man. So he just went ahead and jumped the gun and just disinvited the whole team. Now, think about this for a second. Philadelphia is one of the most patriotic cities in America. I mean, they got a high school up there where 64 people who came from that high school actually died in Vietnam. And another one up there, 27, they have a Liberty Bell, the whole 9 yards. What in the world is going on in this country today that there's such a divide? Now, let's just be truthful. Let's be truthful. There's no way you can right the wrongs of the past. You just can't do it. And a lot of people just ain't hearing this. Let's just forget it and move on when you want everybody to remember the Holocaust. That's a double standard too. And people just simply not going to forget. So explain this to me for a second. Have many of you, instead of just getting emotionally in a rage and throwing fits, have you ever really, truly went back and read the Star-Spangled Banner, the banner? And do you know anything about the person who wrote the Star-Spangled Banner? And do you know what the original Star-Spangled Banner said? Just like the Constitution. Do you know what the original Constitution said? Now, believe it or not, I, as a veteran, and many other veterans, I may disagree with many things that you may protest here in this country. I personally may disagree. But I didn't serve in the military to be opinionated. I served in the military and every other veteran serving military to make sure that you keep those rights, whether we agree or disagree. And there's nothing wrong with someone being objectively disagreeable. I don't believe that you have to go to the military and be a veteran in order to be patriotic. I don't believe that at all. But I also believe if your number is called and you call yourself an American and you're going to fight for this country, and then you, like a damn chicken hawk, you take off and tuck tail and run. You know, it's amazing how tough people act when you know it ain't no heat on you. I just don't have any respect for it. I just literally don't. But I think that in this country that we are totally ignorant and blind to our history. We have a very dismal history in this country. The whole world knows it. And the whole world, they make no apologies about reminding us of our past. They do it all the time, they do. But America don't want to hear it. Is this systemic racism that goes on in this country because of the privileged few that is running this thing? I mean, nobody in Donald Trump's family has ever served this country. Nobody has ever went into the military and served in his family. Nobody. Zero, just nada. But he is going to celebrate the Star Spangled Banner today at 3 o'clock. It's amazing how that, you remember when Rosa Parks stood up on that bus? Back then, that was very unpopular. The world rejected her. You remember when Muhammad Ali protested the Vietnam War? At least he had the guts and the stomach and the intestinal fortitude and the heart to tell you the reason why that he wasn't going to Vietnam. And you see what happened to that country. You see what happened with America, the way America treated him, right? Only come to find out later on that he was 100% vindicated. Rosa Parks is 100% vindicated. But there's no vindication whatsoever at all from this chicken hawk president called Donald Trump. Now, just because I'm calling him a chicken hawk, it's nothing personal. I'm just stating facts. I don't have any love or hatred for the man whatsoever at all. None. Zero, zips, nada. I'm just giving you facts. And I realize that we live in a world that people don't want truth and they don't want facts. They want to live in a world of make-believe. It's utterly amazing the type of paradigm that is being crammed down our throats in this society right here. The forced coercion that is trying to be levied against us and on us in this country right here. It's utterly amazing. And every time, like for instance, it's obvious that I believe totally different than Christians do. I mean, I believe the Bible and Christians don't. And I can prove it. It's nothing personal. It's nothing personal at all. And if you don't believe me, get your pastor just to have a civil discussion and a debate, open debate, and we can settle it using the same Bible. What's wrong with that? What is wrong with proving everything? I mean, are we so much in love with fairy tales and lies that when someone does stand up for the truth or someone does act out their right, the First Amendment right, that regardless of, even though that the Constitution of the United States of America says that is your right, you take it personally, you become very angry and very vindictive, that you begin to holler out slurs against people in order to try to injure or harm their emotions. I mean, what a world this is. What a double standard, wicked world is. I'll say it again. There's nothing wrong with someone being objectively disagreeable, but hey, I served this country so that you could have the right to protest. I may not agree with whatever you may be protesting, but that's none of my business. It is your right to protest. And now everybody's trying to pick the time that you can protest. It wouldn't be protest then, would it? They're trying to tell you when you can protest. It wouldn't be protest then, would it? We're losing a lot of stomach and a lot of heart in this country. This is just ain't the same America. It just simply ain't. I don't care how much you make the statement, make America great again, I like to know, when was it ever great? From my perspective and point of view. Nothing personal, just stating facts here. The social divides and the social ill, the race baiting and everything, it's utterly remarkable and amazing. This president is quickly becoming the most disrespected president in the history of mankind. So to disinvite the Philadelphia Eagles is only going to spark even more conversation. And it's going to bring even more of a magnifying glass on social issues and the history of this country, which a lot of people just simply don't want to visit. It's kind of hard to move on something and move on from something when a true apology has never, ever been given. And when reparations has never been given for harm done to a certain group of people. Because, I mean, after all, one of the greatest laws of nature is harm no one. And America has never repented for slavery. Because to repent means you got a debt that you also have to pay back. And America ain't going to do that. They have already told you they're not going to do that. It's never going to go away. You can never get closure on anything. What in the world? You can never get closure on anything. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. If you don't meet the true conditions to try to get closure. Saying I'm sorry is just not enough. You've got to make restitution. You've got to. You have to atone for a lot of things. And I know that this seems to hurt and injure a lot of people. Why, I don't know. Can somebody tell me if my thoughts are wrong?